Hello there, this is Mikhail or Michael speaking, and without further ado, let's jump straight to the changes on the map. This is the previous update, and this is the last one. First of all, the city of Bakhmut. As you can see, Ukrainians had finally confirmed that the Russians had captured the eastern side of the city. There were confirmation about that coming in a few days ago now, so it's only logical that they had finally admit that the eastern part of the Bakhmut city has fallen. To the north of Bakhmut, Russians are storming the city from these directions and now had entered and start fighting in this factory right here. A lot of Russian troops, especially Wagner's, are now recalling the Battle of Mariupol and especially the battle for Azovstal. Maybe that's what Ukrainians are planning to do again. To the south, the fighting continues. Russians are storming the city from this side of the city. Overall, no changes, which can only mean that Ukrainians are repelling Russian attacks on these axes. But once again, Russians are pressuring Ukrainians from all possible sides, as well as they are now fighting over the Bakhmutka River for the center of Bakhmut city. Further south, we can see that Russians are attacking in the direction of those hills right here. If we go to a topography map, we can see that here are those hills. About a month ago, Russians had came extremely close to this road, so Ukrainians blew up the bridge. They came about here and almost captured the last third hill, but they were pushed back and now trying to regain control over this area. Again, this is all in attempt to cut off this road right here, so Ukrainians won't get supply to Bakhmut. Once again, this bridge is destroyed, but Ukrainians are using pontoon bridges, as well as they can walk over this area right here as the river goes underground. They can't use this part of the road as it is extremely close to the Russian lines. Here you can see the metrics. So here's the road. So that's 700 meters. This is effective range for AK-47. So whatever comes on this road, Russians can easily kill it, especially with their heavier machine guns. So instead of that, Ukrainians are using this small road right here. If we go to metrics, we can see that it is almost 3 kilometers, so it's pretty safe. So Ukrainians are using this road to retreat or resupply, and then they use this part of the road right here. And then they use pontoon bridges or just simply walk here to go in and out of this Bakhmut sector. Russian attacks towards this road right here is important because this part of the road is still usable. Changes appeared here. As you can see, Russians are now attacking from this river right here towards this mountain right here and general direction of these villages. I'm sure again this is neither a diversion, so Ukrainians would develop more troops in this sector and ease their grip in this sector, or maybe this is an attempt to cut off the road from the other direction, especially that there are hills here and there are no hills here. This is the topography map, so maybe this is an attempt to go around the hills, not storming them themselves. From the south, we go to the north. As you can see, Russians had captured a small sector here. It is basically a forest line. It mostly serves as a good defensive position. There could be trenches, and Russians can launch their attacks from here towards the village of Khromove, as well as Russians are attacking in general direction of the village of Avdiivka. I'm sure they will continue attacking along the railroad. It worked for them so far, so I don't think they would change their tactic when it comes to this. From here we go to the north again, and we see the village of Dubovo-Vasilivka, which was recently captured by the Russian soldiers, or to be more specific, Wagner troops. So the change actually occurred a bit to the north of Orekhovo-Vasilivka. Here it is. Like I said in the previous video, due to the bad weather and the unusability of these fields, Russians will develop their attacks along the roads, so that's why they are fighting hard for the control of the roads. So you can see that they had punched through. This could mean several things actually. I'm pretty sure that this is where Ukrainian positions are due to the fact that there's the forest lines and Ukrainians are using it. So I will draw them for you. So as you can see, Russians had attacked for some time towards the village of Zarishansky, all in overall direction here across this field, but were unable to achieve any significant gains, mostly because I'm sure here is the strong Ukrainian positions. And this attack basically means that Russians had flanked Ukrainian positions and now are able to attack Ukrainian positions from the rear, as well as the village of Zalysyansky from the rear. They're also attacking in this direction towards the village of Minikivka and other villages near it. Now you can see an open corridor right here, which they can use to attack Orekhova-Vasiliivka from the flanks and the rear. Once again, Russians are also attacking in this direction, so you can see how Russians are doing a little blitzkrieg kind of situation. They break through and then spread themselves around, widening the front and securing their flanks. So I think that something big is happening here. We'll just have to wait and see what will happen exactly. Overall situation in Bakhmut is getting more and more dire for Ukrainians. I believe that Russians will reach the line of this river and will struggle with Chasiv Yar, simply because there are way too many roads that lead to it, and Chasiv Yar is being a supply hub for some time, so logistics of this place is working very well. After that, they might attack towards Konstantinivka or Kramatorsk, or even up there is Slavyansk. So I'm sure that after that, they will try to establish a new line that goes from Konstantinivka to Kramatorsk and Slavyansk. But this is probably 3 or 4 months worth of fighting, and it's hard to say how exactly this will happen. From Bakhmut we go to the north, where Seversk and Liman front is. As you can see, no changes on the map. Russians are attacking in general direction of these two cities, but had not accomplished any gains. It is safe to say that Ukrainians are defending on this front. However, there are Russian reports that the Ukrainians tried to attack them at the village of Chernopopivka, but the Ukrainian attacks were repelled. This suggests that there are heavy fighting in this sector right here, for this village right here. No changes overall on the battlefield. Russians are trying to push towards this set of villages right here, but with no success as of right now. From here we go all the way to the Avdiivka front. As you can see, no changes had occurred. Russians are fighting hard in this sector. The elite VDV forces are attacking towards village of Novokalinova and village of Krasnokharivka, as well as village of Kamenka. Elite Russian volunteer troops are attacking from Aputna and Vodyane. They had developed this bridgehead 2 days ago, but it doesn't seem like they are using it to attack Severne and Toneke. From Vodyane, they are attacking along the river towards village of Pervomaysky in support of attacks in this direction, as well as Russians are attacking in Nevelske. From Avdiivka we go to Marinka. No changes on the map occurred, but Russians are reporting very heavy fighting in the center. No success at capturing village of Pobeda or flanking Ukrainians on this side. And last we go to Vuhledar. As you can see, no changes on the map had appeared, but again very heavy fighting for this dacha area, as well as shelling of Vuhledar itself. Some people in the comment section of the previous video had said that there are some sort of revolts going on in the Russian army at Vuhledar front. It is actually partially true. The elite VDV forces don't want to die in useless, effortless attacks, so their commander can receive another promotion and a medal. This happened to a previous general. He was actually awarded and promoted for the failure at the Vuhledar front. If you don't know what happened, basically he killed thousands and thousands of Russian people and lost hundreds of armored pieces. And for that he was promoted and moved to the other sector. So anyway, this is the situation at Vuhledar. The initial battle for this city was lost by the Russians, but it would seem they don't want to give up on the city just yet. So this is the end of the video. Overall, we can see a development in Bakhmut city. Ukrainians don't want to give up on the city just yet, so you might see heavy fighting in the city itself. The battle of the city is actually waged not in the city, but along the roads right here and right here. Basically, if Russians will cut off the roads, Ukrainians will have no chance but to escape and retreat to Chasiv Yar. Anyway, thank you for your review. Have a good day, and always remember, Russia will be free.